This week, I spoke with a founder that has been spending months and tens of thousands of dollars to build an AI feature for his product that no one is really using. And honestly, it's not that the AI is bad, it's actually quite impressive. It's that AI is the wrong solution entirely. And I wish this was an isolated case, but it's not. If you don't know me, I'm Guillermo and I am the CTO and co-founder of a tech studio called Seven Sigma. And we build AI and SaaS products for our clients. And over the past year, we've launched over 20 products and we've spoken to more than 400 founders. And I've observed a pattern. There's a difference between the founders that launch in a few weeks, they get paying customers right away, and their product becomes a success, and the founders that spend more than a year and they're still tweaking features and they get nowhere. There are three key concepts that make all the difference. And these are not technical concepts. In fact, if they can work with us, we are the ones that provide the technical know-how. These are all thinking frameworks. And whether you're building your product using AI tools like Lovable or Cursor, or maybe working with a tech partner like us, or even a freelancer, understanding these three things will mean the difference between wasting months and potentially tens of thousands of dollars and burning through your budget. So without further ado, let's start with number one, which is AI is not magic, AI is just a tool. So this is what I hear every week when I speak with founders. I want AI to analyze my data and predict customer behavior. Or I want to add AI to my app to make it smarter. And this is like saying, hey, I want to add electricity to make my product better. Sure, but that doesn't mean anything. AI, and particularly generative AI, so LLMs and ChatGPT and all these things, they're just tools. They're very powerful tools, but they are simply tools. And let me let you in on a secret. Before AI, we used to build software using traditional software engineering practices. We used databases, we used APIs, we used algorithms, and we built very good products. And even today, these things are still the better option. You don't need to throw AI at everything. Now, the thing where AI really shines is when AI can solve a problem that we couldn't solve before. For example, understanding natural language, or when we are building personalized content, or when we are building a chat interface. Those things need to be solved with AI. But here's the key. You need a clear value proposition on why AI is the best tool for the job. We need to go from thinking, let's use AI, to we'll use AI to solve this problem in this manner. Now, the only caveat is if you're using AI to ride the current trend and capitalize on everyone talking about AI, then fair. Honestly, I understand that's totally valid, but don't lie to yourself. You're not making a product decision, you're making a marketing decision. So now the second truth or the second concept I want to share with you, this one hits very hard for people working with technical partners, or honestly, if you're even using AI, AI is your technical partner. And the idea is you still own your product strategy, even if you're working with a technical founder. In fact, especially if you're working with a technical founders. Way too often we speak with founders and they come to us completely unprepared with something like, hey, I have this loose, vague idea. Can you guys just make it work? But here's the thing, you don't have to abdicate that responsibility. Do you know your vision? Do you know your customers? Do you know the problem that you're trying to solve? So abdicating that, giving away the responsibility for defining how the product will work, do you know the problem that you're trying to solve? Do you know your customers? Do you know your pain points? Do you know your vision? And in fact, you are the only one that can define that. That's the role of a non-technical co-founder. You want to be using your technical co-founder or your tech partner as someone who executes on your vision, not someone that creates it. And I want to be very clear. You don't need to be technical to do all this. You don't need code to define what problem you're solving. What are your users? What are the features that they care about? And what are the features that they don't care about? How should the product work? And again, you can forget about APIs and backend and frontend and all the technical jargon. That's not your role. But if someone lands on your app, how should it work? What are the problems that they're trying to solve? How are those problems going to be solved? This isn't technical work. This is thinking work. And I understand it's actually quite challenging to do. But again, you as the visionary is the only person that can define these things. And in fact, with all these AI coding tools like Lovable or even Cursor, you can prototype your idea very quickly. You don't need to go to a developer and say, hey, I want an app. You can just go to Lovable, tell it what you want, refine it a little bit, build a clickable prototype, build something that's tangible, ideate, see, oh, this feels good, this doesn't feel good, etc. Do all that thinking. And so when you eventually go speak with your freelancer, your technical partner, studio that you're working with, they will clearly understand what you want and they will take your idea and again work on all those technical concepts. And here's the thing, once you start doing this, everything becomes so much easier. So to summarize, you as a CEO or as the visionary, you can't afford to abdicate the responsibility of defining the vision and defining what you want. Finally, the third truth or concept that I want to share with you is that tech is expensive. I know you don't want to hear, and all the AI companies and tech CEOs are telling you that AI is going to come and suddenly you can build tech for cheap and pay no money and everything will be great. That is a lie. If you want to build quality products, you'll need to make an investment. And you can either invest your time or invest your money. Yes, you can use Lovable or Cursor to build a prototype and maybe even launch a very lean MVP proof of concept to see if your product has legs and you should invest further. But building proper tech that can be used by many people reliably and allows you to grow, that requires an investment. And there's no third option. Go find me one product that you're using that's only built with AI. I can tell you, you won't find it. So this is why you need to be ruthlessly strategic with what you build. Every founder wants their MVP to have all the features and they have this great vision. And you've been hearing think big and you'll build the next Facebook and blah, blah, blah. And let me tell you, doing that is a one-way ticket to burn through all your funding and all your savings and get nothing. And this is what founders don't realize. Adding features to your product increases the cost exponentially. If you add a new feature, it might not be a 10% increase, it might double it because now you have to support that on the context of everything else. That adds time, increase the budget, and meanwhile, speed to market is the only thing that matters. You want to build your product as soon as possible, put it in front of customers and see the reaction, get paying customers, and then use that money to reinvest into building new features that they care about. And even if you're building an internal tool for your team or your company, you want to do the exact same thing. You want ROI ASAP. You can't afford to waste time or resources. And here's the catch, if you have VC funding and you have millions to be inefficient, be my guest. But for the rest of us that want to build products that actually work, this is what you do. You start very, very small. You define one problem that's as simple to build as possible. You build that, you put it in front of customers, and then you get validation. And again, this is related to the previous one, where if you know your vision, you know the problem, and you can be very, very lean. And just to be clear, this is not about being cheap. You ultimately get what you paid for. But precisely because of that, you want to make sure that the resources that you have, which is probably money and or time, are used in the best way possible. So that's it. I hope this saves you time and you don't have to learn these lessons the hard way. Thank you for watching.